I told you if planting the right flowers could supercharge your vegetable garden by boosting harvests and keeping pests away naturally? Stick around to find out which blooms are the secret garden game changers. Hi, my name is Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to Veggie 360, where you're going to learn how to grow great tasting veggies year-round, even in small spaces. Flowers aren't just for looks in the vegetable garden. As companion plants, they play three key roles in boosting the harvest and managing pests. First, they repel pests and attract those beneficial insects using their natural scents. They also, believe it or not, confuse those pests. It provides a visual distraction as they're trying to hone in on your veggies. They can also act as a trap crop for the pests, basically luring them away from your prized veggies. By planting the right flowers, you'll be able to attract pollinators like bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, and moths that will lead to bigger and healthier harvests. You'll also be able to bring in those beneficial insects like ladybugs, lacewings, hoverflies. Now let's talk about my 7 favorite flowers for a thriving vegetable garden. The first one's calendula. Oh, this one's a stunner. It attracts so many different types of beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings. Ladybug larvae in particular are voracious eaters of aphids. A couple years ago, I had some pepper plants in the garden that were just covered with aphids. So I transferred some ladybug larvae onto those pepper plants, came back the next day. No aphids. Calendula can also serve as a trap crop for some pests like whiteflies. If you plant them strategically in your garden, you can really protect a lot of your different types of vegetables. Second is cosmos, another stunner. This one also attracts a lot of different types of beneficial insects like parasitic wasps, tachinid flies, syrphid flies. Keep in mind though that cosmos can get quite tall, so you're going to want to choose one of the dwarf varieties so that it doesn't overshadow your vegetables. And they do self-sow quite readily if you don't harvest the flowers. So plant them once and you'll keep on growing year after year. Nasturtium is another one of my favorite. Oh, now this one is a garden workhorse. Boy, not only does it attract the pollinators and beneficial, but it also repels pests and serves as a trap crop. In my garden, I use it as a trap crop for aphids. The aphids would then lure in the beneficial insects because they're coming for dinner. They show up and feast on those aphids, keeping them off of my good veggies. Marigolds are another popular companion flower. They attract pollinators as well as the beneficial insects. I like to use them as a trap crop in my garden, a trap crop for spider mites. You may have also heard that marigolds repel nematodes, which are those microscopic worms that will travel up into the plant roots and stunt growth or even kill the plant. From what I've read, though, results seem to be mixed. Check out some links below. I've included some information on the efficacy of nematodes and population control for those nematodes. I myself like to plant them alongside my nematode susceptible veggies like tomatoes, squash, and okra. My results with this though seem to be mixed. I have the best luck when I plant the marigolds right up almost into the space for those tomatoes and okra, literally surrounding the base of the plant with those marigolds. Sunflower is another one of my favorites. This is just so beautiful. They're so majestic in the garden. They attract birds that help control the pests, but they also attract beneficial insects. But since they grow so tall, plant them where they won't shade your vegetables off to the side someplace. Sweet alyssum is one of my absolute favorites. It just makes me smile when I see it. It attracts so many different beneficials, including hoverflies or syrphid flies, whose larvae will eat the aphids and other soft-bodied pests. Zinnias. Oh boy, this one is a pollinator magnet. Bees and butterflies just love them, and they bring such a splash of color to the garden. They come in quite an array of colors, but these too will self-sow quite readily if you let them go to seed. There's so many beautiful flowers to choose from, and to help you decide which flower to plant with your veggies, here are a few things to keep in mind. First one is diversity is key. Different beneficial insects will have different mouth parts, so you want to be able to provide flowers of different shapes and sizes so that it'll be easier for those beneficials to come in and get the nectar and the pollen. Bloom time matters as well. Choose flowers that have a long bloom time that corresponds with overlaps with your vegetable crops in order to maximize that benefit. Also consider growth habit. You want to think about how tall a plant is going to get and how bushy it is. You want to avoid flowers that are going to shade your veggies. And on the flip side, you want to avoid veggies that are going to shade out your flowers. Right plant, right place. Pick flowers that have similar water and sun needs as the vegetables that you have planted in order to get the best results. Be mindful of disease susceptibility. You want to avoid planting flowers that are prone to the same types of diseases as your veggies. I learned this when we planted zinnias, which are susceptible to powdery mildew, planted them next to some cucumber and some squash, which are also prone to powdery mildew. So what we ended up doing was making a bad situation that much worse. Companion planting isn't an exact science. Results will vary depending on your garden conditions and the weather from year to year. Planting flowers with veggies will boost the harvest, but it won't eliminate all pests. But the right combination of these can significantly reduce pest pressure. Keep notes on what works and what doesn't work in your garden so that you can refine your approach for the next season. I'd love to hear from you. What flowers worked well in your garden? Drop a comment below. We can all learn from each other. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family who also love to garden. Let's grow more gardeners together and build a thriving, food-growing community. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.